Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to FPL Don't Panic. We're back. We're back, though. A long wait is over. We have the game launched. I bet you've all been busy doing your drafts. I know I have. First, some housekeeping. For those new to the channel, hi, I'm Des. Great to have you on board. Little bit about me. I've only been playing this game for 4 years, and the first 2 years I did not take it seriously at all. 3 million. I was your 10-minute player. Come in for 10 minutes every week. Wasn't engaged. It was just messing around. Amazing reason for that is because it was my mate Chris who called me up one day 4 years ago. He said, "Oh, Des, just playing FPL. Yeah, you got to join, mate. I've just joined the mini league. Blah 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 blah." I said, "No, Chris, I'm not doing it, mate. I'm not doing it, mate. Yeah. Why not, Des? Why not? You really got to do it, Des. Oh, you'll love it. You'll love it." "No, Chris, I'm not doing it, mate. I'm not doing it, mate. I'm not. No, don't get me involved." Des, you got to do it. You got to do it. Chris, I'm not doing it. Why not? Because I'll just go OCD on it. And here we are. And what happened was, I did actually join, but just really clear of it. And a couple of years ago, got caught in a snowstorm in the County Mayo in Ireland, isolated for weeks, and I started looking at it seriously. And the rest, as I say, is history. Here we are. I have my own particular methodology that I did actually develop during that snowstorm. I tried to average 70 points a week, and I developed a methodology that sort of gears me towards that. And last year was the first year I played it seriously for the full season. I didn't average 70 points. I got to 67 points, which got me a 55k finish. But for some schoolboy errors, probably would have been a lot better. And also had a bit of a thing went on right at the end of last season, which meant I actually did have to disengage for the last 3 or 4 games of last year, which did cost me. So I think I could have finished a lot higher than that. But I didn't get far away from that 70 points because the fact is, 70-point average will get you sort of in that top 5 or 10k. Will that get you in that top 5, 10k this year with some of the changes? The extra chips will bring extra points, of course, with the double chips. But we've lost the assistant manager, which was like 3 chips anyways, playing that 3 weeks in a row, and the ceiling was so high. Anyway, waffle on that. Just a little bit about me. We'll talk more about that, and we'll certainly be talking more about the methodology. I play to win. Will I win FPL? Absolutely not. But I will. That is what's the intention, I think, of all of us, is to try and win this bloody thing. And then after the first 5 to 10 game weeks, when I've tried to be different, I'm not going to win. Then I really get stuck into the methodology then to hit that 70-point average. We'll talk more about that as we go through this. So, okay, enough waffle. Mini league code is there if you would like to join. We run a mini league, the FPL Don't Panic Challenge, on a weekly basis. I present the Bishop Brennan Cup to the highest point scorer. And then at the end of the season, obviously, we have a winner. I'll also review on a regular basis. I'll review the team that had the highest points that week. So I'll have a weekly video where I'll actually take a look at our highest point score and present the Bishop Brennan Cup. And I will also take a look at the leading point scorer in our league. Hopefully we're all learning from each other. I mean, the aim is that the league did very well last year. We actually had a really, really high average, actually, and on a few occasions we actually did better than the league that actually did finish as the top highest point scorer. So hopefully we can all help each other and do well. Really, really important thing to know. I play this game for fun. The motto of this channel is have fun, play your own game, don't panic. So firstly, on the have fun, this is a for fun channel. We've got a really, really nice community here. I know a lot of us take the game seriously, but we're here to help each other. So if I do see people coming in, throwing their weight about, getting a little nasty. I've seen it from time to time. Maybe nasty is not the right word, but yeah, you know what I mean. We've seen them out there. I will block you faster than I block a toilet in a Sunday morning after a night out on the Guinness. We're here to have fun, folks. We're here to have fun. Right. First up, let's have a look at my first draft. Oh, I'm not actually that long out of bed, to be honest with you. I put most of this together last night. There could be a few mistakes in here. I know many people will not agree with this draft. I'm not married to it. I'd say it's probably about 30-40%. There are things about it I like a lot, and it plays into my own particular style of wanting to take chances in those first 5, 6 game weeks. And as I showed last year, where I did make mistakes in those first 5, 6, 7 game weeks, and started out reasonably well, and then plummeted down to about 2 or 3 million, it's recoverable. So those first few game weeks, 5, 6 game weeks, I'm going for it. I'm going for it, and if I can get that differential, that buffer, and try, because as I showed in one of my previous videos, because one of the things I do, I review the top teams on a relatively regular basis. Getting off, if you're going to win it, get into that sort of top 100, you need to get that good start. So going a bit differential could be the way to go. And then if not working, clearly that's not going to happen, then again get really focused towards being a steady Eddie. And obviously with these new chips, that opens up a whole plethora of opportunity. Right, still waffling, let's do it. Anyway, mini league code is there. Join, love to have you on board, folks. Right, draft one. Don't shoot me. I've only seen one other content provider, and I did listen to quite a lot last night and a bit this morning while I was lying in bed. I've only seen one other content provider even allude to going this path. But here it is. And it is a first draft, remember, folks. I'm not married to this. Not married to this. And of course, it will jump out at you straight away. Big gulp of coffee. No Salah. I'll go through the spreadsheet in a minute and to sort of talk through some of my reasoning around this. This is clearly geared towards going with a bench boost 1. Now, one of my things that I want to, as I said, want to try and do is try and get to that 70-point average. That's not easily achievable. That's not easily achievable. If I just maybe even throw up some of these numbers here. Just bring this up in the bit bigger. You can just have a look at that. Last year, number 1 in the world finished on 74 points. Top 20k, 60 points, 68 points, and 50k, which is pretty much where I finished. Because that's where I finished an average of 67 points, 67 points something. It's fine margins. So obviously, and this has been pretty consistent. I do have looked back over seasons past. This is very consistent across the years. I mean, in fact, there's a lot more people playing the game now. Obviously, we've got AI involved now, etc., etc. So those averages have gone up a wee bit. 70 points could have won you the thing 4, 5, 6 years ago. But to win it now, and that's been consistent the last few seasons, 74 points. That's what we're looking for. My personal aim this year, because I'm not going to win it. I'm going to try and win it. I'm not going to win it. I'd love to get inside that top 20k. So if I can sort of hit that, 68, 69, 70 consistently, that should get me inside the top 20k. I certainly want to finish well inside the top 50k. Should have finished well inside it last year, in truth. Yeah, the schoolboy errors that hopefully I will not repeat this year. Some of my general rules, and I failed miserably in a few of these last year, and the big one that I failed terribly on was the take no hits. As a few of you know, I did some analysis in a video a few weeks ago. By and large, they don't work. I did the numbers around it and the reasons why. So if I get into trouble, I'm going to try and play myself out of it. I'm allowing myself no more than three hits this year, and they'll be called strategic worsening of points. A swap, but I'll only do 3 of them this year. That is the stated intention. That is the intention. Okay, so listen, that's the team. You can see it there for yourselves. Take a screenshot for those of you that are just coming in and just want to see the team. But let's get rid of that, and we'll actually bring up the spreadsheet, and that will sort of talk a little bit more to my methodology, why I'm going this path, and how it all works. Okay, hopefully that's all nice and clear for you guys. Okay, clearly going for the bench boost. Okay, right. Let's talk about the no Salah thing. Now, listen, I'm not married to this. I'm not married to this yet. I can see benefits to it. So let's start off with Liverpool's fixtures are not amazing. Um, I don't see obviously they've got that Bournemouth game. That will be a little scary. Let's call a spade there. I'm not very excited, and that's a bit of a worry. However, then we do also have we've got Newcastle and Arsenal. Those games don't scream goals to me. And yes, I know we are talking Salah. I know we're talking Salah. However, he wasn't really firing on all cylinders at the end of last year. And I do look at the depth that I can have in this team and the rotations, and maybe that bench boost will buffer me a wee bit. So if we look at the actual team in the spreadsheet, Vicario in goal, and I've got Keller on the bench. And so if I'm bench boosting, yeah, Keller is a good keeper. He makes saves. Forest will be. I don't know. I don't know. I just have a feeling they'll be a little bit blunted this year. A little bit blunted this year. Wood's good. I mean, he only needs one chance, I know, but I just feel. I think Forest are losing one or two players, aren't they? Um, they're not a prolific attack. Kelleher is a good shot stopper. So it's not a bad bench boost option. Again, so like I said, I'm not married to this at the moment. This is the first draft. We had a few hours to think about it last night. Threw a few drafts together, and this is the first one I'm coming up with. Then if we look at the defense, so I have gone for attacking defenders as in Frimpong, Porro, Cucurella. Really nice fixtures. By the way, the fixtures green speaks for itself, really. Green, decent chance of a return. Blue, moderate chance of a return. Red, doesn't look too good. So I think those in the starting 11, as such, I think you have Vicario. I think Brentford will be. Sorry, I think Spurs will be a bit better defensively, and it's Burnley at home, so obviously a good fixture to target. Frimpong, Porro, Cucurella. Cucurella was brilliant second half of last season. He was absolutely fantastic, wasn't he? And he had something like 5 goals, 7 assists. He was pretty good during the Club World Cup as well. So pretty hopeful of something there. Porro's Porro. Now there is an argument to say I could save some money there. I could go for another Spurs defender. Udogie is quite a bit cheaper. But Porro's Porro. And I think this is a great fixture for him to target. And maybe he's just going to stick one into the top corner from outside the box. And Frimpong is just, I've got to think about Frimpong. He's a fabulous player. I think he will start ahead of Bradley. We'll obviously be keeping an eye on that during the pre-season matches. And I'm not averse to having a defender that comes off on 61 or 62 with a clean sheet under the belt, as Liverpool showed last year. They were prone to conceding a stupid goal in the last 5 or 10 minutes. One of the videos I did again some weeks back showed you some of the analysis around that, how many goals are scored or conceded in those last 5 or 10 minutes of games in that segment of the game. And it's huge. It was like 253 compared to, which was well above all the other segments across a full Premiership match. And as we know from last year, there ain't that many clean sheets going round in the first few weeks of the season. There tends to be a few goals flying in. So hopefully going for the attacking defenders there, we might pick up some attacking returns. Then Palmer. Palmer is, Palmer probably would be the one. Palmer did well for me at certain stages last year, early in the season, and then obviously we didn't get off the Palmer train early enough when he just was blank after blank after blank after blank, and that is one of the other rules of the spreadsheet. Just for the uninitiated, what I like to try and achieve: 4-point average from a goalkeeper, a 4 to a 5-point average out of my defenders, 6 points out of my midfielders, and 7 points out of my forwards. Now, Ideally, they sort of get that nice spread of points by having a very, very strong team. You achieve that, but sometimes, yeah, maybe Frimpong might get a 16 or 17 a pointer if Porro's blanking and Cucurella comes in with a 5 or a 6, whatever. So it's about the unit as much as the individuals. And then on a weekly basis, so where I actually have the fixtures in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the moment, um, that will generally be the points that they've scored as a unit over each of those weeks, and that helps me then to see what they're actually achieving on an individual game weeks and how close they are getting to that 70 points, excluding captaincy. And also I get my average there in the right-hand column, column G, so I can actually see their averages. So if they're hitting their averages, they're safe. If they're not, they're out. And I go to my watch list, which you see below, which is currently the teams, and I'm going to work on a watch list pre-season, or even just players I want to watch in pre-season friendlies, and picking suitable players from each of the clubs. Like I'll certainly have, Semenyo I'll probably have in there from Bournemouth, Arsenal, yeah, quite probably Gabriel. There's no Gabriel, there's no Arsenal defence in here, and even though Arsenal fixtures are tough, it does feel as though I'm missing something there. No Arsenal are an elite defence. Again, they were prone to conceding some silly goals last year, which cost me. Villa, Brentford. Who do I have? Brighton. I've got Welbeck in there at the moment. There's a young fella just been signed by Brighton for 5 million, I think it is. 18-year-old. We need to keep an eye on him. That could be a really, really tasty little pick at some point in the season. I would imagine Welbeck will start, but keep an eye on things. Very, very early days. A lot is going to change between now and deadline. We've got 3 or 4 weeks. There's going to be more transfers. There's players I certainly am interested in that may get transferred in. Anyway, back to the matter of the day. Team here. Okay, so yeah, that's looking pretty good for the defence there, and yeah, I'd be hopeful of some clean sheets and attacking returns there. Palmer was just talking about. Yeah, I think I'm going to take the punt with Palmer. Certainly within this format. I really liked a little bit of the look of him the way he played in that Club World Cup final. He apparently had some personal problems last year. I said it, about 10 weeks, game weeks before the end of last season. Something's not right with him. He's lost his arrogance. He's lost that. We saw it, when he had the season before, and I know he took a lot of penalties, but my God, he was prolific as well. He was scoring some fabulous goals, and his assists were outrageous. With some of the changes at Chelsea as well, I think a lot of I think his assists should certainly go up because Chelsea missed a lot of chances last year. Jackson would be a good example of that, but others as well. But Chelsea have strengthened well, I think, with up front. There will be a lot of rotation up front. I'd be tempted to go for another Chelsea forward, except the massive concerns around rotation. And Palmer is locked, and that's what we want. We want locked-in players that we know are going to start. We don't have to fret as teams are getting announced and are our players playing. So Palmer would certainly be locked. Did sound like he alluded to that he had a few personal problems last year. Is Palmer back? I'm going to take the punt on that one because we know what he is capable of, particularly early in the season, because he came out in the traps last year. I mean, he was huge. I mean, he still finished as the third or fourth highest scoring player, even though he did literally nothing for the second half. So, got to back Palmer, I think. Wirtz gives me the Liverpool coverage. Is he a Salah? Would he be a Salah? Would he score as many points as Salah? Doubtful. But he gives me some coverage there. And he's a beautiful passer of the ball. He will get goals and assists. To what volume? Let's see. But good fixture there to open with, and gives me that little bit of coverage on Liverpool. Rodri. Now, not married to this one at all, but Rodri obviously was out injured all last year. We have the new bonus point system. Now, the thing with Rodri is he will get you attacking returns. Now, 2 seasons ago, I was taking a close look at Rodri when I was looking for a budget enabler, and I think he was priced at 5.5 then. And I thought, why is no one getting this guy? It's like he's returning. And it was like, yes, it was like, scoring. He was averaging 5 or 6 points, about 5 points he was averaging. And I thought, well, he's a good little budget enabler, 5.5. Didn't ultimately go it, but do it. But I've certainly put a lot of consideration into it. But now with these new defensive actions, bonus points, I think it's worth a look. I think Rodri is well worth a look. There's a few players that were worth a look. I'm going to lean into Rodri, and we'll just sort of see how that goes. But if he's getting an attacking return every one, 1 in 3, 1 in 4, picking up a few clean sheets, which I think you will get a few of those with Man City, and he's picking up an assist or a goal. I mean, 2 seasons ago, I think it was, didn't he get 15, 16 points on the opening day of the season? He's got a goal or two in his locker. Now he's got some attacking returns and the bonus points. Clean sheet. Could easily see a few regular 7, 8, 9, 10 points out of him. And as I said, that sort of money, if he's sort of hitting a 6 or 7 point average for me, totally take that. But as I say, the fixture ticker will decide. And again, talking about the fixtures there, I've tried to follow a general rule of thumb here. Ideally, looking for 3 returns in 5. And that will become apparent as as in the 1 to 5 there, as I replace those matches with the actual points they've scored, and it'll soon become apparent who is actually hitting that sort of 3 and 5. 2 and 5 is acceptable if there's some good fixtures coming up. 1 in 5, I move them out. I've got to be stricter with myself on that. If there's just multiple blanks, move them out. Look at the watch list. Look at who jigsaws nicely in with nice fixtures. Into that is sort of hitting the right form or has the right fixtures coming up, because fixtures can bring form, as I try to keep that 70-point average going. Right, Rodgers. Yeah, he's took a bit of a price leap. Not married to Rodgers either. Villa, yeah, some reasonable fixtures. I thought he was good last year, though, wasn't he? He was good. He could blow a little bit hot and cold, but overall, across the season, he wasn't bad. He's a year older, a year wiser. I'd like to see him not get booked quite as much. Bookings are very, very annoying. But in general, I don't think Rodgers is a bad pick. And Villa with some decent fixtures. As I say, this is an early draft. I'm going to tinker with this. New players are going to come to light. But in general, don't mind the look of that midfield 4 at all. As you see on the bench there, it's a very, very strong bench. As I look to do a bench boost game 1, but there are good rotations in there across the first 5 as well. Some decent rotations, and I'm still looking at that. I think I may discover more in depth I go into this. Well, where are we? Okay, up front. Welbeck came out of the blocks like a steam train last year. Good first fixture. So yeah, I'm happy enough with that. But more players may come to light. Watkins, say what you will about Watkins. Beat Haaland last year, and Watkins didn't have a great season, but he still finished ahead of Haaland, and he's a hell of a lot cheaper. A hell of a lot cheaper. Watkins is consistency. He won't have the competition, losing minutes as he did last year to Duran. Is there a chance he could end up at Man United? As a Man United fan, I would be very happy to see Watkins come in for a couple of years. A lot of United fans are up in arms against it. I think, no, we've got Bemo, Cunha. Get a decent striker up there, and maybe we'll start scoring some goals again. At the moment, though, I suspect he will end up staying at Villa. Yeah, quite happy to have him in my team. He is, a very, very consistent player. So, yeah, definitely going with that. The only one that could potentially change Watkins too, and it would give me a bit of Arsenal coverage, would be if Gyökeres comes in for Arsenal. So that is something I am keeping an eye on. Or could I trim some money out from somewhere and turn Welbeck into Gyökeres? Things to play with. As I say, there are no concrete decisions at the moment. but we're playing with obviously the format and what we want to try and achieve, particularly for me in that first 5 game weeks, is to make sure I'm sort of hitting towards that 70-point average. So thus going with the bench boost in game week 1 on this draft. And I think I will bench boost game week 1. I mean, there is something to be said, I guess, for hanging on to it, and maybe wait until we get the 5 free transfers, which will be given for the Africa's Cup, and using that to do some bench strengthening. But I am of a mind, for me, and may not suit everyone, is for me trying to get that little bit of a buffer, try and stay above that 70. And once I see the averages and once I've got more data, then I can more easily defend that. So I think I will go the bench boost game week 1, and as a bench, Kelleher. Yeah, Forest away, but Forest don't tend to score a lot of goals, and Kelleher is a good shot stopper. So fingers crossed we can get some points there. And I do like Kelleher as a keeper. He did really, really well anytime he came in for Liverpool last year, over the last 2 seasons, in fact. Wan-Bissaka, fixture speaks for itself. Sunderland away. Yeah, that fixture speaks for itself. In Wan-Bissaka, he did very, very, very well for West Ham last year with some of the attacking returns. So hopefully we could get a little haul there if West Ham keep a clean sheet. Can West Ham keep a clean sheet? I won't get too excited about that until it happens. But he is capable of an attacking return. Tarkowski, great fixture. We know everything will keep clean sheet, and Tarkowski will be pretty good based on the numbers I've looked at for picking up some of those defensive bonus points every now and again. And Eze, not a great fixture, but Eze was absolutely immense at the end of last year. I guess the concern is there, do we get the Crystal Palace, which does seem to happen with Crystal Palace, that starts slow and then comes on really strong in the second half of the season. At the moment, we'll take the punt that we get the world-class Eze, and that he'll ping one in from outside the box and maybe get a little assist as well. That's the first draft. What else do I want to say about it? Not married to it. Not married to it. I will do a Salah draft. I have been playing with a Salah draft, but it does take some of that strength away. Certainly takes the strength away off the bench. And the thing is, at the moment, with having these having the double chips, this doesn't have to be forever. I am not averse to going really aggressive. If this team comes out of the blocks fast and gets me a good 70, 80, 90 points, happy days. We just go into the next one. I'll transfer aggressively. One of my other things that I try to do in the first 10 game weeks in particular is build squad value. And ideally, I would like to hold the first wild card until game week 10. We've got lots of data. We're seeing those averages, built up some budgets, been transferring aggressively. If someone's losing value, get them out, bring someone in that's rising in value, that also looks as though they've got a decent fixture, and build that squad value, because it really, really does make a difference. Yeah, I think it was it was roughly game week 10 last year where I did a whole bunch of transfers, and what I could afford, it got me ahead of the template. Because I was actually just able to stretch to a few players that others couldn't. But in saying that, I am not averse to using it early. If this is not working, I'm taking my punt, going a little bit against the grain, as in the no Salah. Yeah, forget. No, this is proving a disaster. Let's get Salah back in. When do Liverpool's fixtures turn? Let's just have a quick look there. Yeah, certainly would be game week 4, wouldn't you? Yeah, game week 4. I wouldn't be averse to a game week 4 wild card. If I've given this a punt, it hasn't worked. Boom. Let's create some normalcy, and and play a more sensible, steadier game. But I'm going to come out of the blocks. I'm going to say I'm about 50% on this. I'm going to have a crack. Do the early bench boost. Just see if I can, the transfers sort of help me to sort of keep the team strong. Not averse to maybe when it looks like that I've got too many blue or red fixtures, going with an early free hit in that first 4 or 5, because we have got the chips to come in chip season, second half of the season, when we really, really do need the chips. And I think, bucket, go for it. We're here to win. We play to win, don't we? So have a crack. If it's not working, then yeah, get an early wild card in, maybe around 4, if it's all going pear shaped. And because I've shown last year, when I dropped, it was about game week 6 or 7, but I did adopt a very similar strategy to this, but we didn't have the double chips. But it's recoverable because I dropped right down to 2.5, 3 million, and as I say, and clawed it back even through chip season last year, when everyone else had chips and I didn't. I still managed to rise from, I think it was about 250,000 when chip season kicked in, and I still managed to get myself up to 40,000. It was at one point, dropped away a little bit just at the end because I lost a bit of focus because of some personal stuff that was going on. Right, that was all a bit of a mad waffle, wasn't it? Food for thought. Food for thought. Let me know what you think in the comments. As I say, I'm here to have fun. But as I say, what I do doesn't mean that you have to do it. As I say, my motto, have fun, play your own game. I will, across the season, try and deliver information that is useful to you guys as well, as you sort of follow my journey and want me trying to how I'm going, but I'll also be trying to deliver good content that will be useful to you guys as well. And I think just in probably seeing the spreadsheets, seeing those averages, and as I monitor those averages and try and build teams towards sort of hitting that sort of 70 point, there will be useful information in there for you. But also the watch list, I think I'm going to try and make a much more comprehensive watch list this year. Who to look out for with the fixture turns, who's got good averages, who are those bonus points. I mean, that's going to be fascinating, isn't it? Those cheaper defenders we need to look out for now. Can we find the 4.5, 5 million defenders that are regularly hitting 6, 7, 8 pointers because they're getting the clean sheet every now and again, occasional attacking return, couple of bonus points. That those are the ones we've got to look out for. But for now, yeah, I'm going a hard out attack, hard out attack. Have fun, play your own game. Don't panic. See you soon. Bye bye.